Hey there, are you grieving the potential loss of a loved one or feeling overwhelmed with the loss of someone you care about? If so, you're in the right place. Lisa Hartung here, and this podcast is designed to guide you through topics surrounding death and dying. We'll dive into multifaceted aspects of grief, offering you a blend of personal stories, expert insights, and practical advice for your grief journey. May this be a safe space for you to learn, listen, and ask questions about your own life and loved ones. So grab your favorite beverage and let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone. So excited to dive into another week with you. I wanted to share with you something super exciting. So next weekend, Saturday, September 27th, from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be leading a Power of Positivity workshop for anyone who is welcome to join. It's designed for those who have lost a loved one, but if you are needing positivity in your life and would like to work with me in an immersive experience for 2 hours, please come and enjoy. We will have centering practices, journaling, mindset tools, and movement. And really, the idea is you'll leave the workshop having learned how to start your mornings with intention and positivity, how to reframe your mindset when grief feels really heavy, how to transform your pain into purpose through legacy and love, and then create daily practices that support healing and growth. Because sometimes when we are so grief-ridden, it's really hard even just to get out of bed. Come join me September 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. It will be recorded, so if you can't make it live, we'll send you the recording and the worksheet. In order to sign up, head on over to my New York Marathon Project Purple fundraising page. 100% of the proceeds will go to Project Purple. Please make a donation. Suggested donation is $33 to $50. Write positivity in the memo so I'll know to send you a link to the Zoom invite. And can't wait to have 2 hours with you on Saturday, September 27th. Thank you so much. Now let's chat about this week's podcast guest. I'm super excited about her. Today we have Rachel Fitzpatrick with us. She's a project executive, certified yoga teacher, podcaster, and creator who thrives on bringing ideas to life with clarity, collaboration, and heart. She is the host of the FitZen Project, a podcast that dives into creativity, wellness, personal growth, and she offers listeners a space for reflection and inspiration. So whether Rachel is leading a team in the boardroom or guiding a yoga class or sharing stories through her podcast, she's dedicated to creating meaningful experiences that help others reconnect with themselves and the world around them. So Rachel has a few offerings that she will share with us today in the show. And without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Rachel. Welcome, everyone. We have Rachel Fitzpatrick here from the FitZen Project. So Rachel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really so excited to be here and honored and privileged and all of the things. This is a big deal to me. So thank you so much for having me from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, Rachel, you have such a heart-centered business and you try to bring out the joy and the light in people. And I think that is such a gift. So thank you for all that you do. One thing that I've learned about you since working with you is that, as a yoga instructor, you just have this aura about you. You're very positive. Again, I think through yoga teacher training and then through working with individuals in yoga, there's almost like a higher sense of intuitiveness about life and perhaps the afterlife. And so you shared with me a really, really unique story that you experienced when your grandmother was ill. And I thought that our listeners would really benefit from hearing this, and then would love to chat with you more about just your intuitive guidance or, how you're able to really connect with the other side in a unique way as a layperson, right? You weren't aware of this at first. So let's go back to your grandma, and she's not doing well. And
walk us through her final days and then the such heartfelt story that you have to share. So I'll hand it on over to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm already feeling so much emotion, even just like thinking about it and coming back to that. I need to start from the beginning. So basically, when I moved back into this home that I'm currently in right now, I removed myself from the city. And I had been teaching yoga. That was in 2021. Had been teaching yoga since 2018. Met some amazing souls, amazing people there that had started this transformation journey and really learning about intuition and learning about how I can harvest that and then move from there in that space. But what I lacked was a bit of discernment and how to notice what is intuition. Like that's how lost I felt. Like I did not understand anything about me. I didn't understand why I made bad decisions. I had poor people in my life for long amounts of time. I didn't get why I was so confused or lost or ill-guided. I didn't get it. So I reached out to one of my friends, and she was a mentor that I met through yoga teacher training. And her name is Peyton Turner, and she is a somatic worker. She is a light worker. She's honestly one of my very first mentors that I've ever had. And I love, 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 love her. She sent me through this program. So I'm going to light my candle here just so I can call this in. And I went through her program, and it was to learn journey and how to journey through time
Mm.
and space. And I've been to card readers, tarot. I had done Reiki through several different people. Every time I turn around, they're all like, the angels know that you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And that was the reaffirming over and over and over and over again. But working with Peyton allowed me to build the techniques and the confidence to reach into that spiritual side that truly came with so much ease. And I didn't even know it. And then I didn't, and she taught me how to like tap into chakras and
Mhm.
go with what is real and knowing that feeling of what is real. So I have to start there because it's not like I woke up one day and just like poof.
You're like, the gift.
No, I've got a gift. Exactly. I'm gifted. No, no. But like as a child, I kind of was, and I was so weird, and I had all these dreams and all of these things like as a child, and then like I'd see things and my parents were like, well, whatever, you're just strange. And I'm like, I guess I'm strange. You know, they said I'm strange. I must be strange. I'm having dreams. It's just another dream, whatever. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
But they're real. And I notice that. I know that now. And not everybody has that. There's different ways people can tap in, but that's mine. That's And of course, not anyone in the 90s would understand anything that I have to say about any of that, as a child. Of course, they're not gonna get it. So they're just trying to survive. So they're just like, stop being weird. We've got things to do.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
can relate though. I mean, I grew up in a house that was built in 1786, and there were spirits that were in our house and that I interacted and with, and it was, very interesting. You have an interesting childhood, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I will never forget. So I'm in the room. I grew up in this house. Long story short, I wanted to move back to this town. It was up for sale. I bought it. I'm like, I've already lived there as a child. I'm just gonna buy it as an adult. So, and now I'm raising my son here. So it's perfect, right? It's full circle. But in this exact room, This is the room I remember having the most vivid encounter the first time with a spirit, and it was my great grandma. And she had just passed away. Her name was Grandma Rollins. I was really kind of really so sad. And I didn't have a lot of interaction with her, but the little bit that I did, because she lived in Tennessee, she would always be like, "You're such an angel, you're such a gift," like so reaffirming and like positive of all of this, for all of this. When she passed away, I remember laying in my bed, the ceiling fan was off, the windows were closed, all the things, and I was just like, if you could just come see me, come visit me, and like almost like a summons to her. And the next thing I know, like the ceiling fan is moving and there's like wind in the window and it's moving the curtain in the blind. I'm like, okay, I'm freaking out. Go away now. Like I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle it anymore. So thank you. See you later.
Oh, that was my
So
sign. Got it.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I bring her up because when I was with Peyton, my very first time learning how to journey, she brought me in, and it's a ceremony almost. So to learn how to journey
Mm,
is a ceremony to open, and then you do the journey. You go to the levels with your spirit guides, spirit animals, and everyone here above the light. You see what you see, you find what you find, and they tell you exactly when you're there what it is you're supposed to know. That's the basis of it. So when did that the very first time with her, I remember leaving, and it was as if my great grandma Rollins was holding my hand, and I
mm,
could feel it. And I get in my car, and she sits in the seat, like next to me, and I'm like, thank you for being here with me. Like, this is the most magical thing I've ever experienced. And as I drove off, she just like flew up and out. And I'm just like, nobody is going to believe me if I say any of this to anybody except my mom. And she might halfway think I'm like a psycho, but at the same time, she might be like, I believe that, Like, I don't know. So, yeah, that was our first with me and Peyton
mm.
and that same grandma.
So how like neat that this is a reoccurring theme and a gift that you're able to continue connecting throughout this
Yeah.
journey.
It was such a blessing to get to work with Peyton because I experienced so many different journeys as I developed it more and more on my own and
Mm-hmm.
going into this with myself. I was able to meet up with my grandpa at one point, and that was really cool. I was able to see that a relationship that I was about to start was not going to be anything, to the point that it gave me like a ball and chain image. And when we ended up splitting up, the terms from him were it would be like a ball and chain if we were to stay together. And I'm like, holy shit. It's just like what? It's exactly what I saw like just 3 days ago. But I'm not telling you that.
Right?
So yeah. I go into this, and my grandma now, her name is Mim. And
Man.
yeah, it's my dad's mom. We were so super special together. Like we cooked together all the time.
Mm.
Lemon meringue pies was our thing. And we played the piano together. Like she taught me all like things with hands. I'm really big in with hands. And it's just been like that. Like I can feel her hands. I can see them so vividly. Like I can see them move across the piano. Like if I just close my eyes, like I know exactly what they looked like, what her rings were like, how her fingernails curved, the tint from where she had been a smoker. Like it was just, I knew I can tell you to a T which wrinkle they had. But they're so special, her hands were, because they were just so healing
Yeah.
with everything she provided, you know? She was very sick towards the end of her life. She had hospice come in, and they were super wonderful. She was so comfortable to the best she could have been.
Mm.
And we were gone on vacation, and it was the first part of November, so the end of October. Yeah, because I was about to start the job that I have now, so first part of November. And I got back, went to visit her, and she's like, her eyes are closed, and she's like, there's my baby girl. There's my blonde haired, blue eyed girl. Well, with her, like that was just like our thing, you know? So, and I was like, hey, man, I'm here. And so we held hands, and she'd pat my hand, and I'm holding hers. I remember saying, like, these hands, they're going to play so much beautiful music when you're in heaven. Like, you're just going to play all music.
Oh.
And it was just one of our last final moments, really, in life together. It was just so beautiful.
Mm.
So then a couple days go by, and I went back, and she was a bit worse. And I tried to help her eat and clear out her mouth with the sucker thing,
Yeah.
and it ended up hurting her. And I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, and it
Yeah.
was just, there's nothing I could do. So it felt terrible, but at the same time, I could tell she had so much grace
Mm.
for me. It would just shove it under the rug. She'd just be disappointed that I'm even talking about it right now. So she's just like, stop it. That next day, I knew she was wanting to go, like in and out, in and out. And I think she had gone in and out, in and out. And I set up my altar, and I brought in a picture of my grandfather and a symbol for my uncle who had passed a couple years prior, her firstborn. A few other things that I had brought in. She was super Catholic, so a St. Christopher Protect Us necklace. Like all of these altar symbol things for,
Beautiful.
yeah. And I did the opening ceremony, and it's drumming, calling in all of the grandmothers from the north, east, south, west. And it's circular, and you bring it in through
Mm.
everyone being above the light and like being with above the light, right?
Mm.
So once that is open, the container is there for you to sit and go into it. And this drumming app that you can get, and it's Journey, and it just plays the drums the whole time. So you are going deep, 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 deep. So I was in that and in that moment, and it's like my head was spinning and just like flying. And I kind of just like left my body and went to her. And she just like, come with me. And it was like, I will take you and I will help you go. So we
Mm.
grabbed her hand. It was almost like we went through this portal. It was a total like light portal. And on the other side, it was just everybody, this homecoming in her backyard, in the best barbecue she's ever hosted, which was like her thing. And like her brothers was there, and her mom and her dad and my grandpa and my cousin and my uncle and her friends. Everyone was there, and she was just like, thank you, and squeezed my hand to let go. And then she'd go over, and she does this. She walks like this, and she just kisses you and holds your little face and kisses you and gives you a hug, and she's just like this tiny little woman. And she was so happy. And my grandpa was like, there's my baby girl. That's what he would call her all the time. And it was just such a joyful moment. And my grandma Rollins was there, and she grabbed my hand, and she was like, she's home. And then poof, I was gone. I couldn't see anymore. There was nothing else. So I came back to where I was. I closed up my ceremony and sat in my chair. And my mom calls me maybe 2 minutes later, maybe. And she said, Mim's passed. And I said, I know. I was there. Like I helped her to the other side. And I told her exactly what had happened. She was like, no way. And I was like, yeah, that just happened. About a month or two later, I meet with my tarot reader and I'm just like, just want to make sure she's okay. And she's again reaffirming me, like, you don't need me. You can do this. And she's pulling the cards and like everybody is lovely. Everything is going great. There's nothing to worry about. Your grandma's perfectly fine.
Mm.
And then she goes, she does want to tell you something. She wants to thank you. And then my tarot reader, her name's Kennedy, she goes, did you help her go to the other side? And I was
Mm.
like, yeah. She was like, she wants to thank you for that. And she said that she was really scared and she had been fading in and out for a couple of days and was really scared to just go because she thought she needed to hang on for something. But she's so thankful for you that you were there to help her. I was crying. I was like, that was real. And she's like, that was real. You did that. And I was like, wow, it can get real intense.
My gosh. What a gift that you were able to be there with Mim, her blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, taking her hand. And I'm sure you were such a light in her life. It was the granddaughter who came and was with her in the kitchen and cooking. And I think at the end of our lives, it can be really scary. And what a gift that you were able to connect with her on such deep and genuine level. You loved her with your whole being, and she loved you, and to be able to go on that journey is, I'm just sitting here with tears in my eyes. Like it's just so many people, grieve loved ones, and it's such a blessing that you were able and are able to connect with her in such a beautiful way. And know that you were able to help her walk her home. You know,
Yeah,
there's,
it was such a gift. I was reading a book today. It's The Heart Pathway. Oh my goodness. I should know. I was literally reading it today. I just started it, so I'm not real familiar yet with the full title. I should know it though. It had us in a meditation. It was like close your eyes and think of if tomorrow was your last day on earth or a week
mm,
or a month or whatever. Can you come up with two great things you did in life? And like that was the thing that came to me today. And I was like, that's one moment that I just know 100% like that's why I was here.
yeah,
Like at least one moment, you
mhm,
know?
yeah. It's
So,
that unending love is, that's what we're all searching for is that love and connection. And that was so powerfully true for you, right?
oh yeah.
To be able to experience that is such a gift. And I'm thinking of a time when during COVID, we had a family member, he'd gotten COVID, he was in the hospital, and he really wasn't doing well. They were, pretty worried about him. And his daughter, we're all praying to make sure, hope that he gets better. And he came to his daughter in the middle of the night in her dreams, and he said goodbye to her. And the next morning, they get a call from the hospital, and her brother calls her and says, "Hey, daddy's passed." And she goes, "I know. He came to me last night." Times like that, it's just, you can't make that up. It's just this true beauty that if you're open to it, the message is there.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're everywhere. I can feel so much all the time. And it's literally like I do have to be open to it.
Yeah.
And it can get overwhelming
Mm.
almost sometimes. But it is one of those things. It's just like, how beautiful is life? You know,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. I don't, there's no other word. I don't
It's, every day is such a gift, and I'm intrigued, Rachel, as you're, experience these intuitive practices, you're able to really be open to it, and it does get intense. And so I think as you go through the journey and you learn more about the gifts that you have and the abilities that you have, it's so fascinating. And I would be interested, if any listeners are thinking about, I want to connect with my loved one in this way. I've been told by, some spiritual teachers that we all have this gift and it just depends on how open we are to tap into it and just really be present and let it be. And so I would love any advice or guidance that you have intuitive
Yeah.
or that you practice on your own pathway.
So I don't journey at all, hardly anymore, mainly because it takes a lot of time
Mm,
and a whole lot of energy for me to get there. But I also feel like easy to get there now to
yeah.
where I don't need the ceremony and the ritual anymore to tap into it. For me, it's a lighting of a candle and a prayer, and I can feel them, and then they arrive, and it's just literally sitting as if someone has cracked open your heart and your belly and your hips and your mind, and letting that be fully open so you can receive the full message and what is here in the now. That's how it works for me today. I can draw cards, and it's like intuitively, I can do this now. Like, I know exactly what this is talking about. It might be the full card, for example, which is easy for the eyes to say, oh, the full card, but what else is on the card? It might be the real message,
Mm,
like behind the full picture. That's why I love Kathy Heller, how she says you can always see farther with your eyes closed.
yeah.
No truer words when you're in this as well and wanting to connect as well. Can you get into a state where you can actually remove the mind from the tasks that you got going on all day,
Which is
or
hard.
you passed? Yeah. Or the conversation you had this morning or last night or whatever. What's going on?
Yeah.
Can you stop the chirp for a minute and hear the present?
That's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so is meditation practice helpful for that? It's been a journey for you as you're learning this, not journeying, but just the
Hmm.
experience of learning to tap into the greater universe or whatever you want to call it. You're more intuitively connected now. And so it comes easier. I think that's something that listeners can also think about is the more you practice, right? It's all about
Hmm.
practicing, connecting, turning off the chirp. I love that, right? It's that monkey mind that's in our front of our minds that's always running. And I even think about how I try to meditate for at least a minute to 10 minutes a day, depending on,
Yeah.
schedules, even how hard that is. And so I'm wondering if you have any advice for people that have a hard time
Yeah.
closing down that chirp.
Absolutely. So, a big way to kind of ease into meditation, instead of waiting at the front door, let's go into the side door for a second, or even maybe the back door, right? An easy way to meditate is this is how I started. This candle.
Mm,
Can you just stare at the flame? Set a timer for 60 seconds. Just stare at the flame. Watch it bounce around. That's concentrating the mind. It's a love muscle. Your
yeah.
mind is a love muscle. So if you can concentrate the mind on a flame for 60 seconds, you've now meditated. And
Mm,
that's a visual thing that you can see and that's tangible.
yeah.
And then you can turn it into a vision casting. So maybe not even go straight into meditation of silence. Let's vision cast for a minute. Let's see, in a year from now, I want to be living where? What am I wearing? What
Mm,
am I smelling? What foods am I eating? Who's with me? Is it 75 and sunny or is it a thunderstorm and I'm cozy up in a fire? Let's vision cast that and set a timer for 2 minutes. See if you can make a full entire movie in a vision cast in
yeah.
your mind without distraction.
Hmm.
And then step three, what I would break it down even further than that is find yourself a 5-minute audio after you've gotten good at staring at a candle, gotten good at vision casting. Find yourself an audio with some music that doesn't pause a lot, that keeps you concentrated,
Mm, hmm.
and then be on your way to removing the music. Maybe just listen to the words, and then remove the words and just listen to you. And that's how you can come into yourself. That's how you get into this intuition, whether it be 1 minute or 10 or 20.
Break it down and make it sound so appealing. The vision casting I love because you're speaking to all the senses so that
Mhm.
you're able to, help with that manifestation of whatever you're looking to do. And I'm intrigued, Rachel, if your grief has helped you become more intuitive.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
And because, grief can be so all-encompassing. I think we talk about letting go of what we can't control. And so I'm trying to think of how you have used grief to then springboard into this connecting with yourself and being able to really be present.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Grief got me really good in 2013. And it was like another one of those like momentous dreams or moments where the death in the family had just happened and I knew it and something bad was going on and I needed to be led into a different direction.
Mm.
And it was like my grandpa who had just died came to me in my dream and was like, stop what you're doing, do something different. This is not going to work. And it was about a relationship, basically. Showed me visualizations, real things I'd never had seen the people in this dream before. Lo and behold, I saw exactly what the vision was that he had planted in my head that night, like a week later. With that, I knew I could easily connect with him. And I had had that moment in childhood with my great grandma. And all of those deaths, like those were the things that were brought out to me. And it's always like right after they died. And then I suppress it down,
Mhm.
you know? I'm like, no, 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 no,
I
no.
didn't.
No, no. It's not real. But no, it is because they know that I had that gift, but I didn't know that I did or know what to do with it. What do you even do with that? You
Yeah.
know?
So the deaths in your life then brought out more clarity as time went on.
Oh, yeah. And then when my uncle passed away, he is so loud. He's like, will not hush. I'm like, would you just go away? And he's like, tell my brother I love him. And I'm like, I'm sure he knows. But he'll like, it's funny because I was single and the running joke was he was like, you just need to date somebody more like me. And I'm like, that's the last thing I need to do. So, but he would say, like in some of my tarot readings, even he'd be like, yeah, you finally listen. I feed him to you on a silver platter. Like he's such a jokester. Like he, He's so loud. But yeah, he comes around often-ish. And I'm like, all right, Mike.
That's so fun. And are you ever able to, you said he's very loud. Are you ever able to like tune him out? Or
Yeah.
is it like, how do you do that?
Funny question. Now, I feel like this is debatable amongst the spirit worlds, but in my experience, I have been able to make them leave. Like you have to tell them you cannot stay here. You got to
Mm,
go. So like I had a spirit in my house who would wake up my son and he ended up saying my second mommy. And he's got this gift as well and he will still tell you about his second mommy. Like it's his thing. Like he knows he's got a second mommy. She lived here. And I was said, "Well, what happened?" And he said, "Well, you told her she couldn't come back, so she left." That's what he told me like just 2 weeks ago. As I asked him about it after I connected with you, I was like, "Remember that second mommy? What happened to her?" And he was like, "You told her she couldn't come back, so she left."
oh my gosh.
And I'm like, "I did tell her she couldn't come back." I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Would you just leave him alone?" I need sleep. And I'm like, I'm doing this on my own. And that's what I was doing it on my own at the time before this was pre-Josh. And I
Yeah.
was like, I just need sleep and need you to leave him alone. You're freaking him out. But yeah, and she left.
That is so fascinating because my daughter she'll be 4 next week. And she said, yeah, Big Mama comes every night and she scares me. I'm like, who is Big Mama? Like,
Yeah, excuse you.
and spirits are really
Uh,
drawn to that, like that
oh yeah.
childlike, the innocence of it. And so, yeah, I remember growing up, I had to verbally tell them to leave because I needed sleep, that they needed to. It was okay to be in the house, but they just couldn't bother me.
Yeah, get out of here. I've got to, and it's always only like at night or, when it's settled, when
Hmm.
they feel safe, right? Because
Hmm.
they have to feel safe to come out. And that's the thing. So I've done a little bit of research and I've talked to a lot of people. And I have a friend, Trish Riggle. She is spirit intuitive and she can bring them in and do one-on-one conversations and help with people. She's Soul Echoes with Trish, and she's amazing with bringing them in. And she's like, just tell them to leave. They have to leave. My tarot card reader, Kennedy, she's like, just tell them they have to go.
Yeah.
Peyton's told me the same thing. My Reiki, they've told me the same thing. They have to leave if you say. You're the authority,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
And then are you able to call in someone that you really want to talk to, like Mim?
only if they want to come. And I say that with a lot of love because they don't always want to. And that's kind of hard.
Hmm.
So let's say they may have died feeling shame
Mm.
or they just don't want to connect with you. They like have their own energy, they're their own soul. They're their soul. My cousin Casey will not connect with me very long. I've only gotten to connect with him maybe like half a second, and he's like, all right, I'm out. He just doesn't. And we weren't really close, and I didn't get to go to his funeral, and it was uh, maybe that was a thing. I don't know, but I feel like he very much connects with his sister and my other cousins, and they have like come to me in secret, like, so, because they know, like, they talk to me about it, and I'm not like, you're nuts, because
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, tell me more. How that make you feel, you know? Mm. But yeah, it's kind of bizarre. And like my grandma, my mem was really weird at first. Now
Really?
she's like, I'll come and hang out. But she doesn't do it long, She doesn't like give secrets away or anything like that. But yeah, she is kind of hard for me to track down sometimes.
Mm. Yeah, I think about it from the grief space where all you want is to connect with your loved one sometimes. And it's
Hmm.
really challenging when you feel like you can't.
Yeah.
Just keep trying, I
Keep
think.
trying. Yeah. And also, it's a way of like, what's your desire and
Yeah,
how attached are you to it? Because if you're really attached to your desired outcome, you're more than likely not going to get much.
'cause it's like you need it too much.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking about when my mom passed. She passed on 9/12, and
Oh,
it wasn't
wow.
until after Thanksgiving that I heard from her because I was like, I just need a sign that you're okay. And she came to me in a dream when we were in Iceland, in the same hotel room that she stayed in when we got married in Iceland. We saw the Northern Lights. I went to bed. I had this dream, and it's Thanksgiving, which was her favorite holiday, and she bursts through the door and she goes, I am sorry I'm late. I've been chatting with everyone else.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I was like,
That
that's
is
you, Mom. Like, you are late to your own funerals.
that is amazing. And I love that story so much. I'm sorry I'm
Yeah,
late.
she just like burst through the doors, like, sorry, everyone, I was just chit-chatting. And I was like, absolutely, okay, I get it. For people out there, just give them time.
They
They'll
need
come to
time
you in
and
time.
space.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, sometimes they're just like in love
yeah.
with what is going on. And I think that was what my cousin Casey was doing. He was like, I don't need to sit with you right now. I'm out here soul searching as a soul, Go for it. Yeah, I don't know how long the souls stay as the souls or anything like that. I have theories, but I don't think that's something we get to know. But I do wonder, like, that party on the other side is probably really awesome. But
Yeah, and I think that, you being able to experience that with Mim and see the joy and how death doesn't need to be this scary abyss.
oh
That
no.
there's that here with NDE individuals near-death experience who have near-death experiences often say about the unconditional love that they feel and the light and the joy. So I just love that you were able to experience that with Mim. And oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I feel like I could chat with you forever, Rachel. All the woo-woo, right? Because I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it takes spirituality for me on such a heart depth level.
Yeah.
And I can't sign up for one way or no way type thing. I
Mm-hmm.
just can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much like have lived so much experience with it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like embodied in me that it's so real. And then you move with it, and it's so beautiful. It's literally like watching flowers bloom. It's
Mm,
just delicious. Life is a real gift,
it is.
and so is the afterlife, but getting to meet the two is like a level.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's
you got it in your dream. I mean, we've all
yeah.
been a little touched here and there, here and there. So it it's so available. It's so limitless. I can't explain it even more with more words.
Yeah, and it's being open. It's being open.
Mhm.
So Rachel, our listeners are probably like, wow, I wanna connect with Rachel. What are the best ways for us to find you and to follow you and get into your world?
Oh, thank you. I have an Instagram called the FitZen Project, and in there is a way to go to my website, which is actually fitzenyoga.com because I teach yoga
Yeah.
and I love it. It is all I teach spiritual foundation yoga, basically,
Mm.
which was kind of fun today. But anyway, that's a ramble. But yeah, I teach yoga right now. I'm doing a Soulful September sunrise, which is at 7 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday for 30 minutes for
Mm.
busy people. And that's not too late to sign up, and we can do that. The newsletter I have, you get biweekly podcasts, which I'm so excited to have you featured in there. And I will have our own Being in the Business of Yourself podcast soon. But yeah, I would say first stop the FitZen Project on Instagram and then check out the links there. And you can get as involved with me as you want.
Yes. And you're also leading a retreat in October, so we can
Yes.
link that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And FitZen is FITZEN. So the FitZen Project on Instagram. But oh my goodness, Rachel, thank you for sharing such a heartfelt journey with your mem and with your relatives and how you were able to really connect with them. And I hope that it gives listeners hope that they are able to do that as well in their own ways. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. And thank you, everyone. And, it's always here,
Yeah.
always in abundance.
Just be open to the light.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Giving Grief Grace. If you found the content interesting and think it could help a friend or a loved one, please share it with them. Subscribe to this podcast and get a weekly dose of positivity. And while you're at it, please leave a review. If you enjoyed the show and want to support me financially on my grief journey, I'm raising funds for Project Purple, a nonprofit whose mission is to see a world without pancreatic cancer. I'm doing this by running the New York City Marathon in November 2025, and I'll leave a link to my fundraising page in the show notes. If you've lost a loved one and are looking for support in an online community, consider joining our free private Facebook group, Giving Grief Grace. May you be kind to yourself in the week ahead and give yourself grace. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.